All right, guys, well, I'm back today with a very impressive emergency and kind of full-size lighting solution for a wide variety of applications that also doubles as a power bank in a power outage, camping, or emergency situation. We are looking at the SK05 Pro, and this is a flat flashlight with a front throw light, a front floodlight, as well as a side COB light that does a wide variety of lighting options. Now, there are two color variations available. We are looking at the kind of silverish tan color, but the black one is going to be about $10 cheaper if you want to just save a little bit of money and you don't mind color variations. Inside the box itself, you get the light. You also get the batteries already pre-installed. You get a clip that you can remove or attach, and then you also get all the hardware and tools to do that, as well as a charging cord and the instruction manual. So a pretty nice little setup. One of the first things I noticed about the light was the size. It's definitely a larger flashlight with a little bit of weight to it, but that's mostly due to the size constraints because of the batteries used. You guys can see that the batteries used are 4,000 milliamp 18650 batteries. So if you wanted to get a little more info, you can pause that and take a look at them. The other cool thing is it's going to give you a battery indicator on the side, and this also doubles as a power bank in an emergency situation, which is really convenient if you needed to charge a phone or a GPS. I always talk about keeping a flashlight and a power bank inside your plate carrier, chest rig, battle belt, or emergency kit, and this one actually doubles for both of those, and it does a really good job. On top of that, I always recommend the flashlight that has the capabilities to do some type of alert or emergency strobe or light, and this one also does that as well. So it's really checking off a lot of boxes, especially when you consider limited space inside a plate carrier or a chest rig or a battle belt to store both a power bank and a flashlight. So let's take a look at some of the settings on this guy, starting with the side setting, which is the lock position. This is great because when it's in lock position, you can click that button and then the red light comes up. Now for me, the lock position is going to be really critical if you're storing this in some type of emergency bag, or maybe you're putting this in a plate carrier chest rig and it may be pressing up against something. It's not going to accidentally turn on the main light and completely kill your battery. The other great thing about the lock position, which that I really want to focus on, is the fact that it does illuminate that red light as long as you push this. So if you are EMT, law enforcement, or directing traffic for some reason and you want to get somebody's attention, you can simply alert them by pressing this and flashing this to get them to stop without kind of going through. That means you can, hey, stop a car, something's coming, drop it in your pocket real quick, not worry about turning it off or turning it on, talk to whoever you need to talk to, and then alert the next car, whatever coming down. If you're a parking attendant inside like maybe a parking lot or something like that, and you want to kind of stop a car and let them know, hey, without shining the big flashlight, or without turning the flashlight completely on, that lock position is actually very handy. The next position is going to be this floodlight right here. Now the floodlight is going to give you this wide diffuse light, which is going to be perfect for different applications where you are kind of illuminating a large area, maybe illuminating a room, something like that. And then you have the spotlight, which is going to give you a nice center spot and throw the beam for a really good distance. Now this is pretty cool because the spotlight and floodlight are definitely used for different applications, and you do have a maximum throw of 405 meters with that throw light with that spotlight. So really nice. The floodlight and the spotlight are going to be great in different situations. Now let's take a look at the user manual and kind of go over some of those breakdowns on the spotlight and floodlight before we go to the side COB light. You do have a low, medium, high, and turbo, and you have up to, again, a 1300 lumen output on the spotlight and a 3000 lumen output on the floodlight. Now you do have a maximum runtime of 58 hours on the spot and 52 hours on the low setting, and then you actually have a lot of options in between there where you can long press and cycle through. So no matter if you're on the spotlight or the floodlight, you can long press and cycle through those modes. Again, I'll show you guys the floodlight, long press, cycle through, and it does remember the last setting you were at, which is really convenient. Now the final setting on the rotation is going to be the COB Light right here, and this is where it gets really cool. I love the fact that on this light it actually has a strobe or kind of a chasing indicator right here for different emergency situations. So that's going to be really nice to have. You can double click and actually cycle to the next one, which is more of just kind of an RGB kind of cool little thing. Maybe if you're hanging out using it kind of as like an ambience light or something like that, that's pretty slick. You can double click again and it will go to this COB Light right here. Now from here you can long press and cycle through those modes. Now this is cool because you can, once you're here, you can double click and go to kind of a flashing alert strobe if you're in law enforcement or EMT, something like that. And then if you're over here, you can long press, cycle through, double click, and it goes through the different settings. So you can double click that and go through. And then when you long press there, it changes the color. So you're not just stuck with the red. You can go over to the yellow. You can long press again, go over to the green. Whatever you may need for that right there, that's going to be the case as well. Double click, again, long press. And that goes to different color variations. Now, whatever you need them for, you can do it. We'll double click again to the COB Light, long press, and this is where you can cycle through the brightness on that COB Light. So in summary, it's got a ton of different applications for this particular light, whether it is the spotlight for throwing the beam a very long distance of 405 meters where you're searching for something or looking deep into a field, the floodlight, whether you're searching your backyard and you want to illuminate the entire backyard or room in one shot, or whether it's the side COB Light for working on something or alerting something. Combine that with the power bank nature of this light, you are getting a really awesome option with the Loop Gear SK05. Love the two color variations. Again, if you want the black, you can get this generally selling for $149, and after all of the applicable discounts, you can get it down to about $104. All of the information and linking will be in the description below. Thanks to Loop Gear for sending this out to the channel. Hopefully, we'll be trying out more lights in the future. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.